For me, I wanted to be honest, enjoy the game and not be a villain. But that's not something you can do, right? He can never take accountability for his own actions. I saw that firsthand.
The best way to continue this conversation is maybe to bring her in on this conversation. Maddie.
Season 1 was a lot. We were kind of in the same big group. I don't think I had spoke to Hazem. Wait a minute, you're the husband?
I saw him, everyone's reaction was like pissed off. Oh, I need to double down. Like, I hate this guy to another level because everyone wanted an excuse to target the OGs, but they didn't want to be the ones to give that reason.
Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Behind the Beast, where we get to know the contestants on Beast Games Season 2, Strong vs. Smart.
I'm Luisitin Rodriguez, I'm player 49, and I am an actuarial analyst, which pretty much just means I am a professional psychic.
What led you to this career path?
Well, really, I've always been somebody who loves math, and I've been a nerd. So I chose to do something where I could feel like a superhero. And as a little kid, I always was like, it would be cool to predict the future. But that's not something you can do, right? Psychics, no offense to anyone, aren't actually going to be able to predict the future. But I found out later in life that with probability and statistics, you can get pretty close. So I became an actuarial analyst because it taught me a lot of things to predict the future from a financial sense, and I'm able to use that to also predict the future from a personal side, so like sweepstakes and things like that.
So now in real life, in your job, you're trained to minimize risk. So what gave you the courage to go on one of the riskiest game shows that exists out there right now?
Well, yeah, that's something that people always say. It's like when you go on a game show, there's a lot of people looking at you, and a lot of cameras, and as we saw in season 1, people were really scared to make aggressive moves. Some people made aggressive moves, like JC. He took a bunch of money and got death threats, even though he did not eliminate anyone. Kareem, he eliminated Madi with Hazem and got a lot of death threats. So it's a show where you have to tread carefully because everyone's watching, and a simple mistake, a simple bad judgment can lead to a lot of hate. So, I have to say it's like I went into the show and I wanted to be honest and wanted to be a good person because I felt that from season 1, Madi went in trying to get $5 million. And she met a lot of great friends. She met a lot of great people. And I wanted to experience that too. I wanted to make some cool friends. I mean, we're pretty good friends now. And you make some lifelong relationships. And I wanted to experience that. And I wanted to go in for the experience. People kind of like shit on me online a little bit. Like, oh, he doesn't care too much about the money. But like, I'm going in competing for the money, but you have to focus day by day on building that pyramid and making sure you're just getting through the next challenge and you're enjoying the experience. It's once in a lifetime, and for me, I wanted to be honest and enjoy the game and not be a villain. In the first season, Kareem and Hazem got through the box challenge not because they were skilled or did anything to necessarily outplay Madi, although that was a factor to get it in her head. It was because Madi chose to be a bigger person and she chose to allow them to move on. Because as many people have said, she did not have to handcuff herself. She could have said, you guys are stubborn and I'm going to play aggressive and we're all going home. Someone actually did that. Connor, I think. So, she chose to be the bigger person. She chose to play with integrity. And at the end of the day, like, it doesn't help anybody to stoop down to their level, which I ironically did. So with that being the case, I felt that because they made it farther, because they got the limelight, they got to spend time with a lot of other contestants. Some of them had podcasts. Some of them, I've been able to give them the platform to talk. No one ever reached out to Madi. No one ever asked Madi how she felt, how things happened. They asked the two brothers who were villains, who showed they were willing to lie, how Madi feels. The guys that think she had no right to be emotional. So obviously they say they're best friends. They say Madi hated them in the moment at the beginning, and that's why they acted the way they did. But now they're best friends. So, her thoughts and what she thinks have always been diminished. And on the reunion, the moment Madi walked in after they talked crap, they said, "Hey, friend." Mm-hmm. But we never actually asked Madi, "Are you friends?" We just assumed that because she did not
together.
That just because they're on the cube together, and that after the fact, she didn't go online and like crap on them, that they're best buds, and that's just not the case because I know Madi. Kareem has gotten on several podcasts where he's told his side of the story. And every time he says a lot of things that are not true information, because he can never take accountability for his own actions. I saw that firsthand. So instead of admitting that, he played a game in season 1, he did what he had to do to move forward, but he can acknowledge it hurt Maddie's feelings and it was a little bit brutal. Instead of doing that and apologizing to Maddie, saying, hey, dude, I'm sorry I went so hard. He's always said he regrets nothing and that she deserved it because she discussed with them before the games who should potentially self-sacrifice, even though she definitely, after not even that long of a time, agreed to play a fair game because she heard their perspective. He can't admit that they still played too aggressively. And instead he has to double down and he has to say they're best friends now and she forgave him because it's what he wants. And he just can't accept that Maddie's not going to forgive him until he apologizes. She's also not going to be fixated on this. It's cool. She moved on with her life. We have a baby. We have a family. We have jobs.
Yeah.
We're not used car salesmen like he is. We have done things outside of Beast Games and we just don't care enough to make the drama keep going. So, of course, Maddie's not going to engage when he talks crap. She's going to ignore it, but that does not mean they're best buds. And I always see Maddie, when we talk about it with our family and stuff, she brings that up. She says we're not friends and stuff, but she also doesn't make videos. No one's ever reached out to her and she just has not been able to get her word out. She hasn't been able to express how she really feels and fix that misinformation. She's also just a better person than guys, you know what I mean? She's a girl. So
I feel like the best way to continue this conversation is maybe to bring her in on this conversation. How do you feel about that?
That's a great idea.
Right? Maddie, come on in.
Woo! Reminds me of the reunion.
Season 1 royalty.
Hi, I'm Madi, Madi. I am number 225 from season 1 of Beast Games. And outside of Beast Games and with my life, I do the same thing as him for work.
Nice.
So.
Actuarial analyst, right?
Yes,
nice.
Actuarial analyst.
So, Madi, before we go any further, I do actually want to give you the space to say how you feel about this whole situation from season 1. The floor is yours.
Okay, I'm just gonna say Luis did a great job keeping what happened in season 2 a secret, so that was quite a surprise. So that was a fun watch. Oh gosh, I don't know. Season 1 was a lot. It was very last minute. I for a lot of people, kind of came out of nowhere. So I was just excited for the opportunity. I took the time off work and made it a lot farther than I would have expected. With some math, making it to top 25%. I survived 2 halves. So that was super exciting. The boxes, it took a minute before I put the pieces together, but at that point it was too late. I was with Hazem and Kareem, which, to explain how I ended up with them, because I know that was a big question I got, we were kind of in the same big group, but we weren't a little friendship within the big group. So we were kind of in the same alliance, but I didn't know them as well. I don't think I had spoke to Hazem more than a hi, my name is, before we matched up with the crew for the cubes. I was thinking I was going to be with these other 2 friends from my group, but then somehow I got pushed into the brothers and whirlwind of what happened. So that's how I ended up with them. So we get to the cube and I immediately say hey, it doesn't make sense for me to go home. It should probably be one of you 2, your brothers. If it was me or Luis, we would have probably sent one of us to the cuff. So 30 or so minutes go by and I quickly am okay, whatever. I'll play fair. You guys are very against this, not really thinking, so I'll play the game. And so whatever goes by, we think it's down to the last 30 minutes and Hazem still not agreeing. We talk more. And in my mind, I'm we only have 5 minutes left because they're not telling us how much time is left in the queue. So I'm whatever, I'll just play with Kareem. Hazem's being mean. Whatever. If that's their strategy, that's their strategy. They're obviously not going to sacrifice themselves because we think that there's only a few minutes left. So we play the game. I get out. Whatever. There was a lot of other emotional thought. It was my last day of PTO. I thought I got out in episode 2 on the Tower Challenge. So there's a whole lot. So whatever. The game happened. But I think what bothered me the most was just kind of how they acted after it.
So now, before we deep dive into the show itself, I'd love to open up the space for you guys to talk a little bit about your relationships. Now, how did you actually meet in the first place? And at what point did you decide that this is my person for life?
Do you want to talk?
You can start first. It's your season 1.
Way back, freshman year of high school. So we met, first time we met and became friends was, my freshman year of high school, his sophomore. And we were friends for a few years. And then we didn't start dating till, my junior year, his senior year of high school. And then he went off to college, the pandemic hit, and then, I don't know, we've just kind of been together. We're both nerds, so that helped.
Sure.
Yeah, we went
Like,
to
a
college,
lot.
yeah.
Our first date, we played Monopoly.
Nice.
At my house, and I remember my dad walked in and was like, "Oh, you guys are actually playing Monopoly?"
That wasn't a ruse.
That wasn't
Yeah.
an excuse to get
I
to your
play
room.
Monopoly.
Yeah, exactly.
We were straight up in a heated game of Monopoly.
He was sitting on the floor, I was on my bed, we were deep.
Nice.
But yeah, so then we started dating and then we got married right after college.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually both went to college together. She was a chemistry major, and I was going to do economics, but we both realized we love math, so we switched to both having math. I kept my economics. She switched to economics, too. We both graduated, 4.0 GPAs. So
With
when
degrees in math
Yeah.
and economics.
So when BCM Season 2 came by and was Strong vs. Smart, I was like, my only chance to have this experience, it was like serendipity to another level. The only theme I could ever fit in would be that Smart theme. Definitely not Strong.
And a fun thing is you avoided mentioning me in any of
Yeah.
your interviews to get onto
Really?
the show as
Yeah.
much as possible. I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
they did some stalking,
Sure. Yeah.
but I think you said you got there and you're like, wait a minute, you're the husband?
Well, it happened earlier than that. It was at some point through the process I told him, but I was getting through. I just was like, hey, I feel like I fit the theme, so why not just focus on that, right? And if I get on, it'll be nice. Because I also felt that there was going to be absolutely no way to avenge Maddie on the show anyways. So why would it matter to bring up Maddie if it's a whole new season?
So you're completely shocked whenever Kareem actually appeared in that
Bro,
room.
my brain, I was just well, actually, fun thing with Kareem being on there. I saw him, and initially I'm like, what the heck? But I didn't know how to react. I was like, okay, this is interesting. What's going to happen? And then I looked around, and I realized everyone's reaction was, pissed off. They did not want anyone on here. And I realized, oh, I need to double down.
There you go.
I hate this guy to, another level. Because I realized everyone wanted an excuse to target the OGs. Everyone wanted an excuse. But they didn't want to be the ones to give that reason.
Sure.
And I was like, hey.
I'll give that a reason.
yeah, exactly. But, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think one of the big things, too, with that was, I was like, if I target Kareem, not only does it give people an excuse, but it's an opportunity to show Kareem how Maddie felt in those boxes. Because the strategy is a strategy. That's fine. But Maddie was emotional. She got bullied. She felt gaslighted, manipulated, which is fine. It's a game. But Kareem pretends she had no right to be emotional. He pretends she had no right to feel sad. That she should have known it was just a game. And Hazem and Kareem, I listened to all their podcasts. And Hazem always said, I was trying to be annoying, get in her head. And it sure worked. But you know what also worked? When I did the same thing Hazem did in season 2. I was so annoying to Kareem. I was trying to get in his head. Over the top. The dude is twice my size, and I'm here mean mugging him, telling him, are you scared? I was surprised he didn't punch me in the face. But that was the point, right? It was so annoying. It was pissing him off. It was rage baiting him. And what happened when Kareem got eliminated? And I did an L emote, which his brother did in the trivia challenge. Well, what happened was Kareem started crying. He felt extremely emotional. I feel like crap that that happened to him. It really felt horrible for me because I watched Maddie go through that. I do feel bad for him that he not only got all the villain edits and all the death threats in season 1, which are uncalled for, and anyone that does that, you are a low-life human, and you should just shut the hell up because you're sitting on your couch watching people fight for $5 million. But at least I'm hoping that by him experiencing that, knowing how shitty it felt, how annoying I was, how angry he may have felt in the moment, I'm hoping that makes him realize that's how Maddie felt. And it's okay to play an aggressive game, but it's also okay to acknowledge there's other humans. They bragged about it. They said Maddie didn't deserve to be sad. They said they're best friends. And I think that's just probably the biggest thing that hurt me. I was kind of acting up a lot on the show, but I just don't like it. Because to me, you got to be a bad human to do that. I said it before I even knew Kareem was coming back. The only clip that's showing me in the city is I was coming into this game ready to do whatever it takes, get people eliminated. But after talking to everybody, realizing they're all humans, realizing some people are here for a bigger cause than me, I realized I can't eliminate someone who doesn't deserve it. And what I mean by that is, if I beat you in a challenge, if I knock you out of an obstacle course, I can say you deserved it. I beat you. When Kareem convinced Madi and Kareem hasn't convinced Madi to play a game, technically they deserve it to move on because they beat her in the game. However, when you choose to say it's either going to be an unfair advantage to me or we're all going home, you're not a good game player. You're just stubborn. Because, as Madi mentioned, she only played the game because it felt like there was no time left. Like, at any point, Jimmy would say, all right, guys, you're all out. So these guys weren't bluffing, and they've admitted on videos over and over again
that they would have not. Like, I think
they said it.
Yeah, that's like a big thing is they act like they had control, but in reality, it was still me. Like, even if they had convinced me, like, I still was the one that if I didn't play the game, like, we would have all went home, and they kind of knew that from the beginning that if I didn't change my mind, we would have all went home because they were stubborn enough that they were set on. And I'm not. Yeah, and I think, like, without being a dead horse, it's the idea that, like, it's the idea that Kareem and Hazem are confusing ego for excellence. They've always felt that, well, in hindsight, I did these things this way, which some things I did were good and some things I did were bad, but I'm going to rationalize them all as good because it makes my ego feel better, right? They could easily say, we did go a little aggressive with Madi. We told her unfair advantage or we all go home, and it worked. Was it bullying? Potentially, but it is a game. Embrace the villain at it and realize you hurt someone and apologize. Say, dude, it wasn't personal. And that's not what happened. Yeah. But Hazem made an Instagram to reach out, say, hey, like, are you okay? Like, sorry, like, that it came off like that. Like, are you good? And I was like, I'm good. Are you guys good? Because I was kind of worried about all the hate they were getting. Like, Hazem's like, no, my employer knows, and they're okay. And I'm like, okay, that makes me feel better too, because, like, no one would deserve getting fired. That's okay. So that's something really big, and why I was actually probably more mad at Kareem than Hazem when I saw him. Like, if Hazem was there, I probably would not have the reaction I did, because ironically, Hazem is not as much of a narcissist. He's not a nice guy narcissist. He's just like, you know what? I'm a bad man, but I embrace it. Right? He committed to the framing. Exactly. And Kareem is the exact same way, but he doesn't like it. He wants to lie. He wants to pretend like he's the greatest guy on earth, and he just can't admit that we're all humans and we all make mistakes. And it's so ironic that he talks so much crap about Madi for being emotional, for crying when she gets bullied, for crying when somebody's being annoying around them, writing "aw" on the boards, and saying that it was her postpartum brain that was making her change her mind. Making comments like that are just like completely out of pocket to get in someone's head hurt her, and that just can never be the case. But yeah, he's crying when I bully him, which, by the way, is justified. He has all the reason to cry, all the reason to feel emotional. I feel like crap when my number was picked up, but it happened. And it's okay. And I think that's the big point. There's no point in lying to people. We got cameras everywhere. Just embrace who you are. We all make mistakes. If I lived it again, I would defend Madi just like I did because I love Madi. But I would certainly not have been so rude because looking back, I did hurt his feelings. Right? I was hoping I'd be wrong. I was hoping he was right. I was hoping he could fight through it and he wouldn't have his feelings hurt. But that's just not how it works. And I do feel like a bully. I felt like I was extremely annoying. No matter how much I didn't want to bully Kareem, I had to make sure that he understood how my wife felt, because at some point in the future, he may have a wife, he may have kids, and he needs to know that they also have feelings.
As you can all see, the guards are carrying 10 briefcases, totaling at $1 million.
My heart is racing so fast.
Math ain't mathin'. It's like a 30% chance the expected value is still higher than that.
That feels out of context. Where'd you get 30% of what?
Something else.
There won't be any less contestants after this, because every person that takes the bribe will be replaced with a new competitor.
Tawana?
No 6. One of last season's villains.
You were negotiating your own demise.
And he could be back, causing more trouble this year.
What?
39.
Kareem?
My wife is number 225. The one that almost bullied in season 1. And I don't even want to think about
That crying clip of me is gonna go down in history at this point. But it's like all I'm known for. I'm not looking, but you better have gotten him out. My god, I'm like shaking. I still can't believe Kareem's there, Luis.
No one take Habibi's case. My wife is number 225. The one that almost bullied in season 1.
Season 1 villain.
If he got in.
I'll feel great. It gives me the opportunity to finally eliminate him in this war.
Mathematician.
What do you guys think he should pick?
Why do people want Jeff? He already won. That's funny. They have Polaroid suits on. Oh, and he has an S1 instead of a light bulb or like a muscle. I really don't know though if I want Kareem in or not.
But some of the others weren't very impressed with who's been voted so far.
Oh, Luis!
Bring Kareem in.
Luis!
Kareem is back in.
Luis! I swear to God though, if he got you out. What the freak?
Balls.
Beast balls.
Set their sights on revenge.
I'm gonna pick Bluff. If Kareem isn't scared, he'll also choose Bluff because that gives him control against me.
Nobody ever said I was scared.
Are you scared?
No, you
Then
said
choose Bluff.
Well, hold on. It sounds like you're trying to lure him into the game.
Absolutely, I want to beat him and give him a chance to redeem himself.
Hope to see you both on the other side.
Absolutely. Well, I should not go with Bluff.
This is fun. It's funny because JC really is a good guy.
This is it. It's not a goodbye. So see you later.
They're so cute. Oh, Kareem followed you. You look so silly.
There's a simple choice here, and that's Kareem, number 406.
Yeah, right?
Kareem and his brother have some gaslit my wife on national television to get her out.
I hate that clip.
I have done nothing but try to be positive and truthful to every single one of you. I hope that's been enough. Don't even
He just got in the game like 2 seconds ago.
If you guess incorrectly, you'll be eliminated.
Or if you just messed up walking to yours. This would be so stressful. But you really just have to have like one good friend. Where were you? I can't find you. There you are. Hey, you got your favorite color. No, it's your first circle.
Turn around. You're also safe.
You guys are boring.
You lie to him since he trusts you. You'll look like a good guy on television. This isn't your chance, bro. No, I promise you. I'm serious. Your chance to shine.
Alright. Green again.
Hey, what am I? Tyler, Tyler. 30 seconds left. The time is up.
Dude.
All right, blue team. And now blue team.
Oh boy.
Turn around, blue team. Oh! It seems like 49's plan actually worked, and no one told Kareem what color he had. I'm
Good
sorry,
job.
Kareem. You have red on the back of your head.
Good job, Louise.
You have been eliminated.
Oh, Kareem's out. Let's go. Guess he's not smart enough to be in the competition.
New colors are being assigned.
I love it.
Number 10 Sasha accepted the blue circle.
Sasha.
Bro, it's not gonna be me, bro. I'm not a liar.
Bro. You kept getting green. Like they knew it was your favorite color. Aw, LA. I like him.
Oh my god.
Oh, Jim's crying.
49.
Oh. Your reaction makes me want to cry.
Avenge your wife.
He's now out. It's not him.
L. That makes me so sad.
Let's also talk about Bluff itself. Not the edit, not what the audience believes and interprets the show to be, but what you were going through in that moment. Can you walk us through that experience?
Yeah, of course. I mean, like I have mentioned, like I was trying to give Kareem a taste of his own medicine. Ironically, they didn't show a lot of the things I was saying behind the scenes because they only have limited time. I honestly think the editors did a great job with the limited time they had to fit everything in and tell the story. But one of the things was, I was using that as my strategy. Like everyone here, especially in Bluff, you need to target someone, and it wasn't as simple as you just go and you lie to Kareem. Because when I went and I lied to Kareem, which I did, he just asked everyone else and found his color. So we all had to unanimously agree. And on the edit, what I actually did, and it's shown there, it just goes so fast, is I noticed Kareem wasn't going to care about my opinion. So I needed to find a person Kareem trusted, who I could talk to, and convince that person to lie to Kareem. That was the only way. So I just observed. I saw that Tyler was friends with Kareem. And originally, I told Tyler the whole, like, hey, listen, he bullied my wife. He's a bad man. You have a wife. How would you feel if she was the one in season 1? He hasn't apologized for it. He said a lot of other bad things. We should target Kareem and just not tell him his color. And although the show makes it seem like Tyler was like all bought in the moment. He wasn't. What really convinced everyone to target him was when I told them a more logical reason to get Kareem out, which was skipped for obvious reasons. It didn't tell us much of the story. But it was, we should target Kareem independent of what happened with Madi, because if we have to pick someone to get eliminated in a way that is not random chance, then there's only one person in here who did not have to go down a 10-foot pole in Vegas, who did not have to stack blocks for hours on hours on hours and beat 50 of the smartest people on earth. So I just thought, realistically, it would have been great to be a one-on-one. It would have been amazing that if we all had the chance to redeem ourselves and, have an opportunity. And the OGs, I thought, they should have a chance to compete. But the game was to decide who goes home, and he deserved to go home more than the other one of us. No one deserved to go home. But.
So how did it feel when Tyler actually decided to take that step and actually support you?
Yeah, well, when I saw that, I was like, this is amazing. I'm happy Kareem's going home because he should now know how bad he feels, right? I felt like a great moment. That reaction where I go like, let's go, Kareem's out. Like, they obviously showed it 10 seconds after Kareem went out, but that was immediately the moment Kareem went out. I just jumped and I was like, let's go. Just because I knew at that moment, the person who bullied my wife knows how she feels, right? I don't care about Kareem getting hate. I don't care, about whether or not he's friends with us or about what happened in the cubes. They play their game. I want him to just know how Madi feels, because no one should feel like that in the future.
Now, people say that you gave up this $5 million for revenge, but do you feel that's a misrepresentation of your actual intentions?
I honestly think it makes sense why people say that. At the end of the day, hindsight 2020. The reason people probably feel that way is because I went out by a box at the end of that Bluff challenge, which is so ironic. I actually kind of think it's funny, right? Because I honestly felt like, it's also a funny story. I got Kareem out and then I go, my mission's completed. But realistically, yeah, I was very sad. I was there for $5 million. Honestly, although that whole storyline of I wanted Kareem to feel like, the way Madi felt, although that was something that I took advantage of on the show, I only did it because it also made sense to do so to win $5 million. It was more like a side quest that helped my main quest. If that wasn't the case, if somehow targeting Kareem was going to lead to my elimination and make my odds worse, which maybe I eliminate Kareem and 10 more people come in for some reason. If that was the case, then yeah, I would have just been like, you know what, I'm here for $5 million. I'm not here to get Kareem out. It's fine.
But at the end of the day, it was just a random chance.
You couldn't have done anything. If you didn't target Kareem,
yeah, exactly.
Literally nothing would have changed.
But it was one of those things where targeting Kareem helped my case.
Yeah.
So why
you got one more random
kill two birds
out.
with one stone. It was one of those things that is just I literally get to do this little mini win. It just, in hindsight, looks crazy. I get him out and immediately go home, and it's the storyline is he gave up the $5 million to get revenge. And it's more like I was getting revenge and trying to go for $5 million. $5 million was more important. I'm just saying that out here. It wasn't revenge.
Yes.
Just because she's not actually that mad at Kareem, and neither am I. At the end of the day, we just want him to feel, to have feelings. I don't know. Maybe he is a sociopath and he just doesn't feel it. I don't know. I have no idea. But I think he does, because he cried in the behind the scenes. So he just seems like it's a facade. And he's Egyptian. He said it a million times. He's a cold guy. He's learned how to fight things in his life, and I do have to respect that. And that's probably why he fights the vulnerability so much. But it's okay to be vulnerable. There's strength in vulnerability. There's strength in authenticity. And you look at Ian in episode 4. The dude was vulnerable. He cried and he won an island. Right? You just got to be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and to finish things off, we're gonna do some rapid fire questions. You ready?
Absolutely.
Let's do this. Madi, what was harder, the game or the aftermath of season 1?
Oh, aftermath. It was just weird going home.
Fair enough. Luisitin, which was harder for you, watching season 1 or playing season 2?
Watching season 1. I'm
Really?
sure everyone feels the same way. You're on your couch, you're like, these people are stupid. And then you're in there, you're like,
Oh, this
I
is
guess
very
I'm
different.
stupid.
Yeah.
Right?
Perfect. Now, for both of you, who stayed calmer on camera?
What do you think?
You look calmer.
I may look calmer, but I'm freaking out internally. As you guys saw, I was through the roof when I saw Kareem.
I don't know. Probably you, though.
All right, it's Luisitin. Now, for both of you, who forgave faster?
Probably me, because I stopped caring very quickly.
Yeah. I think generally, she's a lot better at not holding grudges.
Going back to my life.
Fair enough.
Exactly.
And
I was
you gotta
just
move on eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, I moved on, but I was still I love the opportunity to get Hazem and Kareem back. And Hazem, you're still out there. If I get the chance, I'm coming for you.
Season 3, Luisitin will be back. Now, perfect. And then to finish things off for both of you, what's one thing that Beast Games gave you?
My forever fun fact. It's what I tell everyone.
Oh, what is that?
Just every time someone asks me for a
Oh.
fun fact.
It's about this.
I was
Okay,
on
cool,
Beast
yeah.
Games.
Oh, that's so sick.
That's
Okay.
it.
You know, I like to believe, surround yourself with good people, great things happen, and I met some of the coolest people on earth. I met another Luis Rodriguez on the strong
Yeah.
side, which is awesome.
Hey, Luis, come in here.
Come on,
Come in here. Come in
Luis,
here.
come
here.
Come in.
I'm
Let's
telling
go.
you, best friends forever. You
This
consider
is
my
the
dad.
genre stuff. Yeah, we're fine.
I'm out
You
of
consider all that.
We're all
See, you
talking,
just
yeah.
you make friends, right? You make best friends forever,
Best
and
friends right here.
you all go through an experience that no one else goes through. So
Exactly.
that's the biggest thing I got from Beast Games.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again for taking the time
Thanks,
to meet with
Brandon.
me today, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Behind the Beasts. Bye.
Peace
Bro,
out.
everyone's gonna be like, "What the heck?"
Thank you for watching another episode of Behind the Beasts. It genuinely means the world to me. Now, for those who do not know, we are also doing a fundraiser across the entirety of the series for Major Connections. It is a foundation created by Gloria, one of the other contestants on the show, and its purpose is to provide resources as well as a sense of community for those with disabilities, both kids and adults, in rural communities. Now, oftentimes major cities, they have the funds to be able to provide these resources, but smaller cities do not, and that is what Major Connections aims to solve. If you want to learn more about Major Connections, check out the link in the description. If you have the financial means to do so, please donate to the cause. And if you don't at this moment, that's okay. Please share it with your friends and family. But for now, thank you for taking the time to watch Behind the Beasts, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.